Hey, Chris Seiter here, and today we're going to be talking about what you can do to make your ex chase you. But if you haven't already, you're probably sitting there wondering if you even have a chance of getting your ex back. Am I right? Well, if you are, I want you to stop everything you're doing, go to our website right now, and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. It's a simple 2-minute quiz I put together designed to help you understand what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. It's really easy to take. All you have to do is look in the description below this video on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on a podcast or reading this in an article, simply look around our website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, for the quiz. Let's begin. How to make an ex chase you. I put together this presentation to teach you the bare minimum basics behind how you can actually accomplish this, and make it no mistake about it, it's not an easy thing to accomplish. So the first thing I would like to do is actually talk about some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about making an ex chase them. So the first big misconception is that really, it's not going to be one singular strategy that is going to get the job done. Instead, it's going to be an arsenal of strategies in tandem that will actually work together synergistically to help make your ex chase you. And that another big misconception is that you can always make an ex chase you no matter what, right? People have this belief that they think that if they just try hard enough and they do what I'm about to say, that their ex is going to chase them 100% of the time. But reality doesn't work that way. There's a lot of intricacies and details that I don't have about your situation, so I can't really make that determination for you. But what I can show you is the best practices. And the third big misconception that people have is that this is an easy process. It's not. It's not easy to make an ex chase you, because in many cases, you're watching my videos or reading my articles or listening to my podcast because you're having an issue with an ex even wanting to be around you. So getting them to do a complete 180 is not an easy thing. But what I've learned over the years is that really making an ex chase you can be boiled down into 3 pretty simple concepts. Now, these concepts are going to create the foundation behind how you're going to be trying to get your ex back. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is obviously the most popular strategy out there with the no contact rule. The second thing we're going to be talking about is creating a sense of mystery. And the third thing we're talking about is going to be raising the stakes by creating a sense of a fear of loss. So let's get to talking about the no contact rule. So what is the no contact rule? Well, I've written about 50 articles on it. I've done multiple videos on it. I've done a lot of podcasts about it. And a lot of people really use my strategy of how to employ the no contact rule when they actually go about trying to get their exes back. But if you want the quick crash course version, it's pretty simple. The no contact rule is simply a period of time where you ignore your ex no matter what in an attempt to make them miss you, while at the same time cultivating your own personal life. There are some situations where you can break the no contact rule in certain areas, but for the most part, the bare minimum definition of the no contact rule is you ignore your ex for 30, 21, 45 days, and hopefully by the end of that, they'll start missing you. The no contact rule is really the foundation upon which almost every successful Get Your Ex Back campaign is built. And so you can see, actually, if you're watching this on YouTube, I put a picture of a foundation being built for a house. So think of it like this. If you want to use sort of an analogy, a lot of people, when they're building houses, the first thing that they lay down is a foundation. The foundation is designed to make the house sturdy so that it won't fall over. And then on top of that foundation, they actually start building out the house and giving it the character that every house needs, right? But everything isn't possible unless you have that foundation built. And that is what the no contact rule is going to do for you, especially when it comes to making an ex chase you. Right? So the first thing you do before anything is make sure you get through a full no contact period. And when I say full no contact period, I mean you cannot break the no contact rule. And that's a hard thing for people to wrap their minds around. But of course, the no contact rule isn't everything that you have to do when you're trying to make an ex chase you. The second thing that I would recommend that you try to do is create a sense of mystery. So the first thing people, they come to me and say, Chris, how do I create the sense of mystery? And the first thing I point them to is some research done by a Russian scientist named Bulma Zeigarnik. I have one heck of a time trying to pronounce her name, but she actually came up with this concept called the Zeigarnik effect, right? And that basically states that people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. So essentially, people, when they're actually engaging in a conversation, if that conversation ends prematurely, they're going to want to try to close the loop, right? So this is the whole idea behind open loops and cliffhangers and things like this. And this is actually the research that Hollywood uses when they actually start crafting stories. Notice how TV works, right? So TV in Hollywood works because they're drip feeding you the content week by week. You're getting a new episode every week. Now, Netflix is kind of bucking that trend lately by releasing everything all at once, but the principles still apply. In order to keep someone to continue to watch your show, you'll notice that they structure their episodes in TV very, very interestingly. And that's that every episode they try to end on some cliffhanger. They leave some type of an open loop that will make you come back so that you find out what happens next. Now, all I'm implying is that actually if you want your ex to chase you, you need to actually insert these type of open loops into your conversations. So the best example I can give you is actually if you are texting your ex, end that conversation prematurely, especially when it's getting right to the good part, because that's going to give your ex an incentive to want to reach out to you. And then once you can get them into a pattern of reaching out to you, the next thing you know, they'll be chasing you. So that's creating a sense of mystery. The third and final thing that I believe that you need to create if you want to make an ex chase you is a fear of loss. And so the best analogy I can make here is actually to point at one of the most popular shows on TV currently, and that's Game of Thrones. Now, what is it about Game of Thrones behind great writing, great acting, great directing that makes it so great? Well, if you look at the plot of Game of Thrones, a lot of people die. So it gives you this sense that anyone can die at any moment, and it raises the stakes. And I think a lot of times when people are trying to get their exes back, they haven't raised the stakes. They're not willing to do everything it takes to really create a fear of loss to where they can indirectly, not directly, but indirectly tell their ex or show their ex that he's going to lose them or she's going to lose them forever if they don't act now. And I think that's what really needs to happen. If you want an ex to chase you, you need to raise the stakes and even just not even directly talk to people about it, but imply that your ex will lose you forever if they don't act. You need to raise the stakes in your own relationship with them. And that, in a synergistic principle, or there's kind of an interesting synergy between these three principles. If you work together with all of these three, and accomplish all, you'll start to notice that your ex will begin to chase you.